Hey guys, Kennedy here, finally bringing you another video. I'm going to be playing this game called Guild of Dungeoneering today. I've been playing a bit of this game, and I have to say I'm a pretty big fan. It doesn't hold my attention for a long gaming session, but it's great for sort of a lunch break game, or, 30 minutes here and there. It's got some really cheeky bard music that I think is a cool style. It's got some kind of an amusing sense of humor. And I sort of like the throwback graphics. So let's jump right into a new game. I do have a save file I've been playing here. This one was actually just a test to make sure my recording stuff was all set up. So we're actually going to start over.
This is the Guild of Dungeoneering. All across the land are cheering, oh, to be a Dungeoneer, chasing fame and glory.
Alright, so I kind of wanted you guys to hear that little opening ditty. Like I said, the music I think is one of the most charming parts of this game. I don't necessarily like the sound of it. It's not music I would choose to listen to, but I think it really fits this game and adds a cool style. So let's read through this. The Ivory League of Explorers, the noblest, most virtuous guild in the land. Pfft, those insufferable jerks. I'll show them. They won't think me so grossly incompetent when I have my own guild. I've bought a small hall in the bad part of town with the gold I borrowed from them. I've staked out a dungeon that's ripe for the picking. I've even found a chump who can do all the dirty work while I sit back and watch the coins roll in. Like my father always told me, there's always someone stupider than yourself. Well, he never really said it to me. Actually, he said it to everyone but me. Hey, wait a minute. So it sounds like we play as a pretty dumb adventurer. Looking to make some money, go exploring, and somehow we've managed to find somebody to, quote, do the dirty work for us. So let's get started here. Welcome to your guild. We need to hire some dungeoneers, so let's build a barracks. Alright, so we got a barracks card here. So we can set this up anywhere that connects to our guild here. And I'm going to put it right behind the courtyard. I like that. A new dungeoneer arrived.
That's always left behind, the solitary lump, the pawn who's fodder for the grind, the sorry little chump.
Alright, so Chump, this is actually like the class of this dungeoneer, this hero. So I sort of like that. But this guy's name is Beritu. We can rename him if we want, but I'm not going to do that because honestly, there's no point in getting attached to your heroes in this game. You'll be constantly changing classes or accidentally killing them off, as the case may be. So, wow, those posters must be working. I guess we put up some recruitment posters or something to get this chump to buy into what's probably going to be his last adventure. You can expand your guild to gain new dungeoneers and abilities. But first, try going on an adventure. So eventually we'll get new rooms to expand our guild and new abilities and stuff. I like this sort of graph paper drawn dungeon. Kind of harkens back to older tabletop games, or maybe you guys still play this kind of stuff. Personally, my DMs don't actually draw it on graph paper, but I think it's a cool aesthetic. So let's click on this Go Exploring button that's beeping at, or flashing at us over here. Alright, so here's our guild hall, and here's our only option for exploring. Rats! How original. Quest 1. Squeak, squeak! Everyone's got to start somewhere. Alright, so we can enter this first dungeon, and if we beat Quest 1, we'll unlock Quest 2, which is like sort of a harder version of this same dungeon. But let's go ahead and take Beritu, since he has no experience yet, into this Quest 1. Play up to 3 more cards this turn. I'll play your first turn. It's easy. So, plays a room card, plays an enemy in the room, and then plays a bit of gold in the room. And my dungeoneer here, I actually don't control him. He controls himself by, following the path in the dungeon, looking for treasure, and that sort of thing. When we run into an enemy, we enter the battle mode. And how this works is that the enemy is going to draw a card off of their battle stack. Unfortunately, Rubber Ducky got a little unlucky. He drew a stupidity card, so he's not going to deal any damage or anything. He's just going to go, for a turn. And we have a chance to look at our hand. These 3 cards have been drawn from our battle deck, and we choose a card to basically respond to the card that he plays. We could deal some damage. This does 1 physical, this does 2 physical, or we could block if he was throwing damage at us. And this is half red and half blue to show us that it would block either physical damage or magical damage. It would be a waste to use this since he's not actually throwing any damage at us, so we're just going to try to get in a lucky hit. And you can see his health goes down by 2, ours is still at full. And now he draws Anger, so he's going to deal 1 damage to us, but he's also going to take 1 heart worth of damage to himself. So we could block and prevent that damage, but instead, let's just throw an eyes closed punch, which will take down his last heart, and we'll win this battle. And then, for winning the battle, we get to choose loot. Now these are going to add cards to our battle deck, so you can see, if I mouse over them, what it adds. So let's see what our options are. Pigeon Nest gives us a Rekindle card, which deals damage and heals us by 1. Fork, which does 2 physical damage, or Cuppa, which does 2 fire damage, 2 magical damage. Or if we don't like any of these, we can actually just take a card that will let us place some gold in the dungeon. I'm going to take this magical damage, though, as my, it's an offhand item, so it doesn't take up a weapon slot or anything. And probably the enemies in this dungeon are less likely to be able to block that fire damage. Alright, so now it's our turn. We get to play 3 cards per turn. So we have a couple room cards we could play. We have some coins, which we're definitely going to want to play, because I want that money. And we also have some enemies that we're going to want to play, so that we have another battle, and get closer to our objective. Let's see. These are both 4-way rooms, so it doesn't actually matter which one we play. So I'll play this corridor here. Now you can see he's planning on walking up to this guy, so I could place an enemy right here to get him to fight that enemy instead. And in fact, I think I'll do that. Let's fight a bat, and let's place some coins in there to make it worth our while. So this creature has, or this enemy has a special stat. He's a loner, which means if I had played him in a dead end, which I didn't, I played him in that 4-way corridor, he would have 1 less HP. Doesn't apply to this fight, so we can ignore it. So he's going to bite us. This is going to deal 1 damage, but this symbol here shows us that it's unblockable. So this cower card would be useless. We're going to just try to punch him with our eyes closed. Unblockable damage, so I don't want to block. I'll throw a punch at him. Okay, so he's playing Drain, so he's going to deal 1 damage, and for every damage he heals 1 heart. So this would be a good time to actually block, because if I don't, not only is he going to hurt me, he's going to heal. So let's cower. Alright, so he's going to shoot me with magic and also block 1 damage of what I throw at him. So let's cower again to protect ourselves from the damage, and then his block doesn't matter. Okay, so maybe I should have saved my cower for this card that actually heals him and just tried to shoot through the block. But we're going to throw a lucky hit at him. So you can see sort of what's going on down here. It gives us a little summary of the combat. Alright, he's going to throw unblockable at us. We're going to throw a fire blast, which is going to be more than enough to kill him. We got close though. We only had 1 health left there at the end. Alright, so I leveled up. I got one extra HP for future fights. So let's see what our loot is. A stool. Alright, it's got a couple good cards, but it's also got that stupidity card in there, which is unfortunate. That's kind of something you don't want to have to draw out of your deck. And worse, it's an offhand item, so it would replace our Cuppa. Unfortunately, all 3 of these are offhand items. So I could either take the same item I already have to sell it for 1 gold, but I'm actually going to take a loot card of gold. A little bit unfortunate because now I have both this gold coin and this silver coins, and I can really only use up 1 of them because he's going to walk right into this guy and fight him, and assuming that we win, we're going to defeat 3 monsters and we're not going to have a chance to go hunting for the second piece. I can't put more than 1 treasure in the same room. And if I die, well, then the adventure's over anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we actually don't really need to play anything except this gold coin. Yeah, I mean, because after that, it's, the adventure's over. I won't worry about the rest of this. Let's just end our turn. So I'm learning my lesson that I should have taken the duplicate item because I could have sold it right away. I wouldn't have to go seek it out. But I couldn't have known that I was going to draw a gold card. Alright, so he's going to throw Neurotoxin. So he's going to deal 1 damage, and if it hits, I have to discard a card, so then I'll only have 2. It's very important that I block this so that he can't make me discard. Alright, he's going to deal 1 damage. We'll deal 2 damage. He's playing unblockable damage. We'll play 2. Yeah, 1 more damage and we win. He's going to play unblockable damage. So we're not going to block. We're just going to take the hit and try to kill him with an eyes closed punch. Success. Oh, it looked like he didn't even pick up that gold coin, so it ended up being relevant.
The way you fought, you'd be so very brave. Now we need somebody else to fill this empty grave.
Alright, so we made it. We have now 60 star? I don't know. This is our money. So, let's take a look at our different tabs here. We still have our guild. It's not very big. We have a courtyard and a barracks. Dungeoneers. All we have so far is Chump, and Baritu is still alive, so he's our main Chump right now. We can expand our guild. So this is sort of how we level up our adventuring. These are the sort of strength items. We can unlock a new character called a burglar. We can unlock a new character called a bruiser. Or we can unlock these items that we can take up to 1 item with us into a dungeon. Talisman of the Warrior unlocks Warrior Spirit. Doesn't tell us what that is. Trickster's Favor. Okay, or 2 characters. Here we can unlock the Mime or the Apprentice. We can unlock a Hug in a Bottle. Talisman of Heal Aid. Interesting. Or Talisman of the Crone. Unlock Crone's Knowledge. And again, over here, these are not going to be characters and items. These are actually going to unlock things that we can get loot for. So, blacksmith, leather worker, woodworker, curio shop. Basically unlocking new items that could possibly drop after a fight. With 60, I can only choose 1 of these. I usually like to unlock the loot items, but I think I'm going to unlock a character. I'm going to grab this cat burglar. So I have to build a house for him to live in, hidden den. We're going to put the hidden den off behind the barracks. I think that's where it belongs. Right.
Up until now, we've all had some fun, and you could say you've come very far. But brace yourself for some woeful cat puns. Now that we have a cat burglar.
Meow. Meow. Alright, so a new Dungeoneer arrived, Jatola the Cat Burglar. Again, not going to bother renaming him. And he's going to hang out here in the hidden den. Our Chump's going to hang out here in the barracks. And now let's go exploring. We don't really have enough money to bother spending. So again, still only 1 place to explore, but now we have access to Quest 2, the Rat Pack, Defeat the Rat King. And we can switch between our 2 Dungeoneers. Let's take the Cat Burglar with us, though. See what he's got. So now, our job is not just to defeat a number of enemies, it's to actually get through the dungeon, all the way up here, and defeat the Rat King. So this is going to be a bit of a longer dungeon. That first one was really just to teach us what to do. So, this is where pathing becomes really important. For example, I can't play this here. I could only play it here because of the exits it has. But then my Dungeoneer is kind of going to be going in the wrong direction. I want to send him towards these enemies up here. So I'm not going to try to play that. This one could be interesting, right? Like if I had a bat to play who has that loner trait, I might want to play this dead end and give him something easy to fight, just to get sort of geared up. But instead of that, we're actually going to make our way forward. I'm going to I was going to say I was going to intercept him with this enemy, but check this out. This guy's a level 1 enemy, this guy's a level 2 enemy, and I'm a level 1 adventurer. I would probably get my butt kicked by Ratman. So we're actually going to hold off on playing him. And we're going to just skip ahead to this next room and put some gold in there to make it appealing to our adventurer. I could play another room card, but I don't see anywhere where those will help us, so we'll just end our turn. Oh, my mistake. I thought that those footprints implied he would go straight through. Had I understood that a little better, I might have actually risked playing against that level 2 enemy. Now here, I am going to place the corridor, this empty dead end here, and place this bat in it. I don't actually think he will go see it, because he wants this gold. But just in case, I want this to be here in case we don't have the right room cards and he has to backtrack. We have an easy enemy to fight to get some extra loot. I don't want to play any more enemies, so let's end turn. Alright, so the cat burglar has this additional trait. He's covetous, which means he gets a bonus treasure card. Now, that's not as great as it sounds. I don't just get a free treasure. It just means that after this fight, I'm going to get one extra to choose from. So let's see. Nasty Rat is going to hit us with Neurotoxin. This really sucks for us, because he's going to deal 1 damage. We can handle that. But he's going to force us to discard, so we're going to go down to 2 cards. And we don't have any way to block it. Here, I can add damage to my next attack. I don't think that's going to help us, so I'm just going to try to swiftly scratch him. He's going to play some unblockable damage, and now you see I only have 2 cards. I had to discard that other catnip card. We're going to go ahead and swing for 2 damage, rather than buff our next attack. He's playing some unblockable damage. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit him with some more damage. Alright, so if we can get in 1 damage before he gets in 2, and it looks like we can. It was a pretty close fight, though. He could have gotten us if we had had worse luck. Alright, so we got a couple offhand items, a weapon, a head item. Let's see. Paper Crown gives us some blocking and healing. Wooden Board gives us blocking. Cuppa gives us damage. Fort gives us damage. Now we can only choose 1. Blocking is pretty good. Especially blocking 3, it'll basically nullify any physical attack. Blocking and healing, also good. I think for now we need some extra damage. I'm going to take this Fire Blast again. And we get some gold, that's helpful. Let's see what our options are now. So see, now he's going to backtrack, take on this Vat. Which I sort of like. There's no limit on how many turns you can take, right? Eventually we have to get up here, and I don't want to take for freaking ever. Just in the interest of time, but let's see what we can do. This room doesn't really... Oh, I guess we could play this room here. Is that worth it? Just to make progress. Whoops. Or we could play this room here in the middle to connect all those. I think I'll do that, even if I don't use it. Oh, interesting. So that rerouted him away from this bat towards these higher level enemies. He wants a challenge. Let's slow him down a little bit and have him fight this Null right here. And... yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so we still have our Covetous trait, but this Null has a dangerous trait, Fury. All physical attacks deal an additional damage if he has half health. So once we deal 3 damage to him, we're basically improving his damage dealing. So, let's think about this for a minute. He's going to deal 1 damage to himself and 1 damage to me, since I can't block. If I deal 2 damage to him, then he's already at half health. So, even though it seems like a less beneficial attack, I'm actually going to scratch him, just so that he doesn't activate his Fury skill right away, and I still have these cards to play later. So now, no matter... Ooh, actually... I'm going to take this damage, and I'm going to boost my next physical attack to make this one worth 3. And again, this is all to prevent him from activating his Fury too early in the fight to where he's dealing basically double damage to me. So this is bad. He's unfortunately going to be able to make us discard I'm going to play Throw Cat because it's actually going to be worth 3 damage. So even though it activates his Fury, I only need to hit him one more time. And he's actually going to do that for us. Ooh, we're in trouble. So we actually just lost. He's going to deal 1 damage to himself, but he's going to throw 2 damage at us, and because this Fury is activated, it's going to count as 3 damage. We're both going to die, but who cares if he dies if our hero's dead? If we had a fast card that had a little lightning bolt on it, that means that our damage would happen first, and we could kill him before he had a chance to hurt us. But since we don't have that, it looks like we're going to tie.
A scream is heard to chill the bones, so lift the earth and lay the stones, a martyr's grave to recompense. But others would have had more sense.
So even though we died, we still brought home a little bit of gold. Not enough to make a difference. We can't upgrade or anything. We only have 23. We need 50 to unlock anything. And now, unfortunately, we have to find a place for our graveyard, since we have a dead adventurer now. And I think it would be a little demoralizing to put it right next to the barracks. I want like a training room and a blacksmith or something down here. So we'll put it here next to the hidden den.
Although this guild seems very grand, a dungeoneer's life can sometimes be hard, not always going as they might have planned. They mostly end up in this graveyard.
But we get a new cat burglar. I guess we posted some more recruiting, put up some recruiting posters that said we had room for a cat burglar. So we can still take a cat burglar, and this is exactly why I said I don't bother renaming them, because our cat burglar died on his first adventure, and we got a new one here. Alright, so I will see you guys in the next episode where we will take one of our adventurers here exploring. See you then.